Sweet and cozy night, and you are here by my side. Bells are ringing and the time is right to celebrate this Christmas. We're gonna have some fun. Merry Christmas to everyone. So everybody gather round and sing with me. Yeah, it's Christmas. Joyful Christmas. Shine so bright. We share this very special night. Close your eyes, make all your dreams come true. Oh, what a joyful Christmas. We're gonna have some fun. Merry Christmas to everyone. Now everybody gather round and sing with me. Well, it's Christmas, very joyful Christmas. Hang up Christmas light. Ooh, let's celebrate tonight. If you feel alone, don't hide.
Good evening and welcome to the PreGame Blitz. I am your host, Larry Godwin. Guys, Merry Christmas. We are just a few days away from Christmas. So I know there's a bunch of guys watching tonight that need to hear what I'm about to say. Guys, if you haven't started Christmas shopping, now is the time to start. Right now. So if you got on Amazon tonight, I don't know if you would be able to. I don't know if you can you guys see me and hear me? Because I'm getting a blank screen on one of my monitors. Let me bring on one of my
Larry, I
bring on-
can hear you very well. I can't see you, so it's a black screen.
yeah, I don't know why that is.
Yeah, that's all I can hear you well though.
Yeah.
Man,
And
you just gotta love
for better or
technology.
worse, you can see me and Justin.
That's right.
I can see you guys, no problem at all. Can you
There,
see
you're
me now?
coming in now. You're a little blurry, but
Yeah.
you're coming in.
Oh my gosh, man. These dumb technology. Golly. Let me turn
I'm
on this.
just glad we got a
audio.
white Christmas there, you know.
I know it.
That's about the
So-
only way we'll get it, I think. But I'll
That's
take it.
right. So can y'all see me now?
Yeah, you're a little. It's kind of like a kung fu movie where you're
Yeah.
want to fight me, you know, kind of thing. But other than that,
Yeah, this autofocus on this camera is just going crazy right now. I don't know. Well, we'll just soldier on. I just don't know what to do about it. So anyway, the show must go on, right?
that's right.
So anyway, Merry Christmas, guys. I hope you guys, Justin, George, I hope you guys have gotten all your Christmas shopping done.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. So you were one of the guys I was talking to in
Yeah.
my introduction.
100%.
Mara,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, listen, my whole camera snafu has thrown me off. And Justin tried to remind me, trying to warn me before the show. He said, don't forget to read your sponsors. Don't forget your sponsors. So let me go ahead and recognize these folks before we all forget. So anyway, we've got a growing list of sponsors, and we're looking to renew some of these guys at the start of the year. But as of now, these are our sponsors, and we thank every single one of them. Winn-Dixie, Clint Haynes, and the guys. Everybody knows that Winn-Dixie sponsors this show by now. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a drawing. We're doing something new on this show that we usually do on just Thursday nights, but we're implementing in this show as well. That we're also doing a Winn-Dixie drawing giveaway at the end of the show tonight. We're going to be drawing for a Stuff the Bucket chicken meal. So listen, Justin, if you were in Valdosta, I'd get you one of these Stuff the Buckets.
Look, man, I had to settle for Zaxby's. I got Zaxby's.
You do some Christmas shopping in Valdosta, we're going to go see Clint Haynes. How about that?
Oh, that'll work.
Okay. So in addition to that, guys, we're going to be giving away a couple of T-shirts as well. Now, I don't have PreGame Blitz T-shirts made just yet. So the T-shirts that you'll be getting say the Viking Nation on the back of it. Don't be rolling your eyes in your head. Think it's a free shirt. Come on, Justin. It's a free shirt.
Well, you shoot it out of a cannon at least, so it's special.
What's that now?
Shoot it out of a cannon, or something.
Shoot it right at the screen.
Yeah.
Virtual.
So, guys, all you now, my Thursday night followers watching on the Viking Nation, they know this routine, but we have a different type of hashtag to enter. So, guys, all you have to do to enter for your drawing, to be entered into the drawing in the show tonight is I'm going to put the instructions on the screen.
Hashtag Purple Hurricanes.
No. Hashtag pregame. All you have to do is type into the comments. You guys can qualify too if you want to take part. All you got to do is type in hashtag pregame, just like you see on the screen. No spaces in between pre and game. Just hashtag pregame. It doesn't matter if it's capitalized or not. So do that into the comments to enter for your chance to win that Winn-Dixie drawing at the end of the show. We're going to have two drawings, one for a T-shirt, and then the second one is for a Stuff the Bucket and a T-shirt. Okay. Because we have plenty of T-shirts to give away. So anyway, so all you got to do, guys, is type in pregame. Make sure my software tool. Yep. Tool's good. So we got one entry so far. So that person's going to win if we had the drawing right now.
Yeah. Your odds are strong right now.
There we go. It's cranking up now. We're up to 3 and 4. So there we go.
Well, they significantly dropped.
So we usually have about 25 to 30 people enter the drawing for the Thursday night show. So anyway, so that's all you got to do, guys. Hashtag pregame. We got a pretty good show for you tonight. Like I said, it's sponsored by Winn-Dixie. It's sponsored by Tim Neesmith at A Shade of Perfection, the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta. Guys, I don't know about you guys, but when family comes over, especially during Christmas time and you hadn't seen them for a while, you can take about 20 minutes of it and then they're giving you a migraine. If that's the case, if you're in the Valdosta area, go see Josh Batson up there at the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta. He will take care of you. And they also are certified to do nerve conduction studies as well. So they can help you with that. We're also sponsored by White Oak Investment. Kyle Conger does a fantastic job handling money. He can do a great job for you as well. So it's the end of the year. Now it's time to take a financial assessment of where you are. So give Kyle Conger a call at White Oak Investment. G Nation Media, if you're looking for graphics, basically anything with audio visual needs, you look for a website created, all that stuff, I can help you out there. I know a guy that does that. So anyway, Russell Saylor, a Verizon wireless reseller on Perimeter in front of Walmart. If you need a phone this year, go see those guys at the Verizon store on Perimeter Road. Rebound Ministries. We had the fella from Rebound Ministries here on the show a few weeks ago. And guys, this is a cool ministry. If you want to know more about him, just get on Facebook, type in Rebound Ministries, and he does something interesting. He looks for local basketball guys to help them get basketball scholarships to try to get them into college. So the folks at Rebound Ministries are a sponsor as well. And I wish I had a drum roll sound effect. This is the closest that I have. That's it.
I got you.
There we go. We have a new sponsor that I want to announce tonight that will be starting up with us at the beginning of the year. And this is going to be an interesting one because you guys recognize this name, but I'm working with them to design some interesting giveaways, things like that. But I'm happy to announce that Pepsi Cola of Valdosta has signed on as a sponsor in the upcoming year. So they'll be sponsoring this show as well as the Viking Nation on Thursday night. So welcome aboard, Pepsi. So anyway, we're looking for other sponsors as well, like banks, restaurants. We would love to give free meal coupons away during drawings on this show and the Thursday night show as well. So lots of good stuff coming. So y'all stick around. Football may be ending, but our show's not. And Around the Nation on Thursday night is not either. There's other things to talk about.
Absolutely.
So anyway, so that's the giveaway that we're doing at the end of the show. Starting of the first of the year, Tim Neesmith with A Shade of Perfection is also donating a bunch of shirts. And possibly I'm hearing that he might be donating some $10 gift cards to like Zacadoo's drive-through eatery here in Valdosta, which is a very, very popular place. So anyway, y'all stick around. Y'all stick around. We had some championship games, and Justin and I had a bird's eye view from one of the suites up at what's it called? Center Park Stadium. Used to be called Georgia State Stadium or something like that. Now they got a fancy sponsorship up there, and they call it Center Park Stadium. Justin, what do you think of that experience? That suite was a little bit smaller than I expected. I don't know what I was expecting, but when I walked in, it's like I thought this would be bigger. I mean, it was a cool experience. It really was.
Yeah, that's the same thing I was thinking. You know, if you go on Georgia State's website to go like rent a suite for that weekend, you know, they got these cool looking photos, and you think it's like 1,000 square foot or something like that. And then you get in there and it's like 300 square foot, and you're like, wait a minute, you know. But it's still pretty. You know, that was a cool experience to be able to do that and to be able to, you know, talk to the people we got to talk to and stuff, and to see it from that point of view. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and the coaches that we got to talk to up there, I was kind of surprised that I'd never met them before, let alone talk to them. George, they were so laid back. Now that their season was over, they were sitting back watching another game. They were happy to talk to you and basically tell you about how they approach football, that kind of stuff. It was a really neat experience.
It'd be neat to see how a coach watches a game when they're not, you know, looking at it through some lens of coaching, you know what I mean? Like in terms of an upcoming opponent or scouting or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a neat conversation to have during a game.
I challenged one of them. we were sitting there. I can't remember what game we were watching. So the suite is made up of an indoor part, and then it's got a sliding glass door, and then there's an outer part that you can go in. It's almost like bleacher seating outside, just right outside the suite, right? And so you would go back, you had people go back and forth just to get outside a little bit, then come back in. So at one point, there was a good number of us outside, and I was sitting next to one of these coaches, and we were watching this game, and there was this one play. You guys have seen it all the time. I don't know why it's a favorite play of all these coaches. It's just quarterback takes a snap, throws it straight out to the flats, right? And a wide receiver tries to make a move and take off.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that play fail more than it works. Sometimes it's the receiver gets caught for a loss. Sometimes they get back to the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they get a couple of yards. And sometimes on occasion, they'll get 5-6 yards and every once in a while break one. So I was asking this coach, I said, Coach, do you run this play? He says, yeah, we like that play. I said, why? I've never seen it. I've hardly ever seen it be productive. He says, because you're trying to get a mismatch on the numbers game out there. I said, well, how can you get a mismatch? Because when you line up out there, you're telegraphed, you got either two or three receivers out there. They're going to have 2 or 3 DBs out there. He said, yeah, but if you get a safety that backs up, then that gives you a good mismatch on the numbers game. And then he started to explain it in detail, and it made sense what he said. But then I fired back. It's like, but it doesn't work very often.
It doesn't.
but coaches love that play. I don't know. I think it's a wasted play.
You're going to
What
set up
do I
play
know?
for later, like you're saying, you know, how they react. Kind of like, when boxers come out and they kind of jab and kind of checking each other a little bit. And
That's right.
they're not trying to knock you out at the beginning. They're just kind of seeing your movement patterns and stuff like that. Maybe that's what's going on.
That's right. So anyway, we got a couple dozen people watching tonight. Everybody must be Christmas shopping tonight. That's probably what it is. It's getting a lot closer. We got 6 people entered into the contest, so your chances of winning are pretty dang good right now. So all you got to do is enter in hashtag pregame into the giveaway contest. So that was our experience at the stadium in the suites. Now, we actually watched some really good games and some not some good games. What was the game? It doesn't matter what classification. What game surprised you guys the most?
I'm just gonna say Calhoun and Warner Robins, just from the fact that, kind of like we were talking earlier, it's just how bad Calhoun got out to their own start. I mean, they couldn't get out of their own way. They couldn't get a punt off. Basically gave up 14 points right off the rip. Heading into halftime, kept it close. But I mean,
Right.
you're not going to come back from that, especially in that weather, and they have 0 run game. So
Sure.
I was just surprised at how poorly they came out to start the game. Not necessarily the fact that Warner Robins won, it was just how bad Calhoun started the game.
That's right. That's right. So George, any games surprised you the most?
Yeah, I'll throw out the Buford Langston Hughes game. Just how evenly matched that game was. Going down the stats, you can even see it. The score tells you a lot too, 21-20. That was a really even game and an absolute dogfight.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. The Buford game made the national news.
Can we talk about how smart their fan base is?
Let me show you. I'm actually going to show it on the screen right now. Check this out. And guys, what Justin's talking about is, if you haven't seen this or read about it or watched it in the news, so Langston Hughes is playing a really surprisingly close game with Buford. Buford just goes up 21-20. Something like that. Langston Hughes gets the ball back with very little time, but they race down the field and they take a shot at the end zone. They've got 3 seconds left. They basically got enough time to kick a field goal. So it's a 35-yard field goal, and their kicker they have not attempted, George, they have never attempted a field goal all year long.
Yeah. And this
is
kid,
his first attempt.
And he's like my eighth grade daughter's size too. He's very small.
That's right.
And his eyes said everything.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So anyway, so they send this kid out to do this field goal, and Buford calls a couple of timeouts back to back. I don't know if it was 2 or 3, but they call several timeouts back to back just to ice the kicker. And their student section is a very boisterous section. I mean, you can hear them all over the stadium. But they do something very, very, very clever. During the timeout, they just get on their horse and just run as fast as they can to get behind the goalpost to try to distract the kicker. Right? I thought it was a brilliant. I didn't know if they had enough time. I'm going to show you on the screen. Someone had captured a video and posted it on Twitter. How much hustle these kids put into their game to help their team out. They may have affected it. I don't know. But check this out. Those are the Buford players going from their student section and hustling to get behind the goalpost.
Someone had to organize that.
Yep.
And everybody just seemed to get it almost immediately. Right. It looks like this is the first time I've actually seen the migration, though.
Man, talk about a 12th man.
That's the 12th
man.
Exactly what I was going to. Yeah.
Look how much they're hustling. Goodness.
Yep.
They had that kicker had to see that.
Are you guys trying to do anything? No.
And Justin, I hear these guys talking.
Yep.
I think this was the suite next to us. Remember how loud that group was?
It was probably so.
Look at that, man.
Wow.
Smart, man. Smart.
Yeah.
So listen,
Winners find a way to win, man.
They do.
hats off to them. Goodness gracious.
It's at 13 titles in what, like 17 years or something, like 18 years, whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so just to let our viewers know the outcome to that story was the kicker missed the field goal. I guess it was blocked.
I
Yeah,
think
it was
they got a
tipped.
hand
It
on
was
it.
partially blocked.
Yeah.
And so he
their
missed the
best.
field goal, and that was the last play of the game. And for either the second or third year in a row, Buford wins the state championship on the last play of the game with an unforced error from their opponent. Remember last year, they won the state championship when they were playing Lee County. Lee County's running back,
Yes,
Fumble.
right.
Caleb McDowell, star running back. You know, the backstory to that was last year, you know, he'd been basically playing the entire game, and he started to cramp in the fourth quarter. And so, did they go to overtime? No, they didn't go to overtime last year, did they?
No.
So Lee County was driving down the field on the last drive of the game, and they hadn't gotten down there inside the 10. And so Caleb McDowell, he's the running back. He gets the ball, runs out to the right, and he starts to have a cramp as he was turning the corner. But George, he would have walked into the end zone untouched. So he turns the corner and he starts to cramp up. And you know what happens when you cramp up, right? You automatically just like that. And he basically lets go of the ball. At the same time, he gets brushed on the arm and the ball just pops out. Buford jumps on it on the 2-yard line. Game over. Buford wins.
Wow.
Yep.
That kid was devastated, man.
Oh, man.
But he just couldn't help it. He cramps up, and that's your natural reaction. You know?
That's right. It's almost reflexive. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So man, oh man. But I had so much fun up there. We stayed up several hours and watched a couple of good games. The game that surprised me the most, I don't know why it surprised me, but the game that surprised me the most and disappointed me the most was the Fitzgerald Thomasville game.
That was my runner-up for sure. That first half, anyway.
I did not expect Fitzgerald to come out and dominate the first half. I didn't. I'm so disappointed in Thomasville because I don't know if all three of us, but I certainly picked against them in the last couple of weeks in the quarterfinal and the semifinal round, and they won, and then used my voiceover in their hype video picking against them. For 2 straight, I don't know if you knew that, George, for 2 straight weeks, they used my voiceover in their intro into their hype video.
Yeah, but it's like I talked about on the show 2 weeks prior, or 2 weeks before the championship game.
Yeah,
Thomasville relied on big plays,
right?
And could they put together long drives, sustaining drives against a great defense? And Fitzgerald, I'm telling you, the first go around didn't show everything on offense, and they weren't gelling. The offensive line wasn't near as good, and the defense got a lot better.
Right.
And everything kicked in, and it just, like I said, they could not put together long sustaining drives against that defense, and the only time they scored was a busted coverage. The kid just got turned around and got behind him, and then a 60-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
Is their offense built to I know you follow them a lot more closely than I do, Justin, but I'm seeing 295 yards on the ground, 2 passing attempts for 10 yards. I mean, that sounds like
that's it.
Pierce County offense. I know it's a little more complicated than that. I don't want to, but it does seem like very ground heavy, attack.
Yeah,
it is. It's been that way all. And it's been that way all year. And I just want to say hats off, finally, just being honest, to Tucker Pruitt for winning, and also to stick with what got him there. That was one of the biggest knocks that a lot of people had on him, and myself included. I was glad to see they come out. They dominated. He only tried 2 pass attempts, one in the first half, one in the second half. He didn't get away from the run game. He stuck with it and kept letting the defense win the game, and that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Will Palmer says Fitzgerald really didn't show anything on Friday. They beat us with 3 plays. They hit us in the mouth for sure. Yeah, it may have been 3 plays, and that's a typical wing T offense, right?
Yeah.
And so they run the same plays over and over and just dare you to stop them. And Thomasville never stopped them. George, the domination was so complete in the first half that Fitzgerald had 3 scoring drives of over 70 yards each. And Justin, did they have like out of 24 minutes of offense in the first half? Didn't they have like 17 minutes of that?
Yeah, it was something like that.
I can tell you this.
Look at the time of possession, George.
Time of possession overall is what I have. 33 minutes, 23 seconds to 14 minutes and 37 seconds.
Yeah,
That's
it was even worse in the first half.
Domination. A lot of that is, and I had it by quarter, but I can't find.
I think Thomasville got 1 first down the entire first half, I believe is basically what I remember. I know they went 3 and out the first 2 times. The third time they got it, they got 1 first down and then turned it back over to Fitzgerald, and they went down and scored again.
Yeah, it was ugly, and it was basically out of reach because I think now I have to admit up front that I'm not a big follower of Thomasville football, but I can tell you what I saw the other night. It just looked like, because of the success that Fitzgerald was having on the ground, just milking the clock, it just looked like they took Thomasville completely out of their game plan. And almost, I don't want to say created a sense of panic in them, but it lit a fire under them. And I think it took them out of their game plan and forced them to try to do things they don't normally do. And it just wasn't successful.
Yeah, their biggest success is when the RPO is working and the read option. And they come out that first drive and tried it. And with EJ and that entire defense, they didn't try it the first game because the quarterback was still hurt. And then, of course, in the championship game, they tried it the first drive and it didn't work, and the second drive and it didn't work. And then you're down 21-0, and he's just being honest, he's not a stand in there pocket passer. Right. And you try to turn him into one, and of course you got 1 long touchdown, but then you also had 2 interceptions in the second half. So yeah, they got way away from their game plan.
Gotcha.
Now, I got a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Okay.
So did EJ Lightsey play both ways during the season, or was this something they broke out for the he got with Milton with LJ Overton, I believe, where they brought him out on offense. So show some different looks. Is that what was going on there?
Yeah, so like the first time around against Thomasville, he didn't play much on the offensive side. He had 1 long touchdown for like 30 yards, I think, busted run, and that was the only Fitzgerald's only score that game. And either way, but he played some, but he didn't use him a ton. He did some, but he didn't use him a ton. The championship game, he used him a lot more than he had throughout the playoffs. But he had been playing a little bit, but he did use him a lot more.
Gotcha.
Hold on, guys. I found something else that I want to show you guys. I think you'll like this. Just give me a second. All right, so you guys have got to learn my nonverbal cues by now. It's like when I say that, I'm stalling. So you guys are supposed to stall to give me time to
is that our cue to
queue up what I was trying to queue up.
Well, I thought you already had it in play. We was ready to roll. I was waiting.
Yeah, I didn't know what kind of time I had.
Oh man,
we got more reps here, some off-season reps.
Yeah, it's just
sync up. The offense doesn't synced up.
Okay, here we go.
You got like tap on something in the background. Let us know that's what we got.
Little kind of baseball something.
Hey, listen, I'll do like what the football players do when they want to come out. It's like
tap you on it. Yeah,
tap on the head. No, I found this other video of that Buford student section from like behind the students right before the kick and the students' reaction after the kick. So I think you'll enjoy this. Check this out. That's awesome, man. I love it.
If that doesn't get your hair up on the back of your neck.
I mean, aren't they tired of winning though? Good grief.
What's that now?
I said, aren't they tired of winning though? Good Lord.
Listen, man, They're teenagers, and their team is seemingly indestructible and gets lucky at the perfect time. So
They do.
they've got all the energy in the world, man. I don't blame them. I don't
Well,
blame them.
they're going to get the true test next year.
What's that now?
They're going to get the true test next year when they step up to.
I'm calling it right now before the season starts. They win 7-8 next year.
Oh my God!
I wouldn't put
Are
money
you
on that
kidding
one.
me?
I think they'll be competitive, but I don't think they're going to.
The floodgates are going to open up.
I will agree with you there.
There's no reason to control
I definitely do think
numbers.
they're going to win. I do think they're going to win their region. Here's their region, their new region next year. It's Buford, Central Gwinnett, Collins Hill, Decula, Discovery, Mill Creek, and Mountain View. The only team that has a chance of challenging the next year is probably Mill Creek. Collins Hill will be completely in a rebuild. They're losing all their superstars. Right. So Mill Creek, maybe Decula.
I was going to say Decula. I think they're feeling pretty bullish on their.
Yeah. But who do you have?
I know a lot about some of the Gwinnett schools, but
yeah,
the entire state's going to be down though in 7-8. Other than Buford, I can't think of a team. Langston Hughes lose. I mean, well, they're not. They're moving up.
Is Carrollton coming up?
Yeah, but they lose. They lose quarterback. They lose every. They lose.
So he's gone.
He's gone.
Well,
there's nobody really got anything coming back in 7-8. Everybody's going to be down unless Grayson throws something in there.
You see anybody in Region 1 making noise? I mean,
well, let me show you the new Region 1.
Tift County. Got to while he's not here.
That's for yeah.
All right. Do y'all see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure that y'all are able to see this new region alignment. And so in the lower right is the one I just read out, Region 8 7A. The new Region 1 7A is Camden County, Colquitt, Lowndes, Richmond Hill, and Valdosta. So Tift is out. Richmond Hill, Valdosta are in. Who's your early on favorites, Justin?
Colquitt. They just
Colquitt without a coach right now.
Without a coach. I mean, you got Fan at QB, you got the 2 tight ends, you got most all your defense coming back. You lose a little bit on the offensive line, but I mean they just return the most. I feel like, I'll say this: Colquitt's the favorite with the players, depending on who they hire as a coach. I think if the front runner gets hired, I think they make a run in the playoffs and they don't win the championship, of course, but. Gotcha. I don't know, but they just got too much. They got a lot of talent.
I'm calling it right now, man. Lowndes dominates the region again.
You like the up and comer quarterback, right?
I do.
Is he going to be a sophomore?
I'm very bullish on the. Yeah, he's going to be a sophomore next year.
Okay.
So I'm projecting that he's probably going to win the job. That's just my personal opinion. I haven't talked to any coaches about it, but I've seen enough, and I think he's got the athletic qualities that fits into a Jamie DuBose offense, and he's got a really, really good arm as well. Now he was our starting 9th grade quarterback this year, so next year, I expect him to do well next year. We are going to have an open quarterback competition at Lowndes that it's going to be basically Marvis Parrish, Brooks Bess, Tate Sermons, might be couple of other kids. I've got the Ledwich kid. So a couple other kids that I'm hearing about that are going to be competing for that job. But I think it's probably going to be Marvis Parrish. That's my guess anyway.
Where do you guys see Camden coming in at with, just Jeff Herron's second year back?
Jeff Herron second. Now that's an interesting question, George, because Jeff Herron, I thought it would take him longer to reestablish that wing T. It didn't take him long at all. Because he didn't win very many games this year, but if you take a look at his region play, I mean, he played every game down to the wire, and he could have beat all the teams this year. The ball just didn't bounce his way.
And it's still in the DNA down there to win.
Right.
They're not that far removed from making runs.
Yeah. So anyway, Will Palmer. Mr. Thomasville agrees with you, Justin. He says, I agree with Justin. They have a good chance to win next year. Buford will have a national title bid within the next 5 years. Here's why I think Buford it's not going to be a cakewalk for them. They very well may win the title next year. But unlike any other jump to a classification, let me back up. Every time they've jumped to a classification, they've always still had the athlete advantage, right? Because of all their transfers and open enrollment and movement, whatever you want to call it. They've always had an athlete advantage, even in 6A. But in 7A, they're not going to have that advantage anymore with some teams. That's what makes 7A so difficult to predict, because every single year, there's always a super team that's assembled. This year it was Collins Hill. Last year it was Grayson. The year before that it was Marietta. It's always a team that is super assembled. And that's why I think it's not going to be a cakewalk for Buford. They're not going to have the athlete advantage when it comes to the quarterfinals and beyond in the playoffs.
But that's where I got to disagree, because, like I said, so first off, their facilities are like a campus, so they can hold just about as many students as you want to throw in there. They can hold.
Sure. I agree.
And they have been controlling the FTE numbers. Now that there's no sense in controlling them, you're liable to see 4,000 or 5,000 students now at Buford, and they don't have to worry about, okay, we can only let 50 students in this year, 30 of them get to be football, 10 of them get to be basketball, and that's what they've been doing. Yeah. And now that they don't have to worry about that, you're gonna see those super teams, I think, just form at Buford every year. I mean, not necessarily every year, but just most of the year.
I get it, man. I do.
I agree with that.
It's
going to be a year 2, 3 thing where we see that.
I just don't think it's going to be cut and dry like you say. Just mainly because these kids, when they some of these superstar kids do want to get on the field, and if they assemble as many players as you think they will, there's going to be a lot of kids that's left out.
There he is. I just think, like what you saw in 6A, they're able to. So if you're a lineman and you want to get noticed, you're going to go to Buford, and they're rotating in 3-4 linemen every other play now. Imagine now when they get in 7A and they can just get whoever they want. All your top linemen are going to want to go because they get to go. It don't matter if there's a rotation or not; they're still playing all game because they're going to rotate in and out.
Sure.
Yeah, and they're fresher going into the next level.
Yep.
Listen, man,
this is happening in college with your running backs.
Yeah, I'm not reacting to that. I'm reacting to Ben Franklin Beam. He's not my favorite person. He says, I don't see Lowndes doing much. Come on, Ben. What are you talking about, man?
Center yourself up in the picture, buddy. Can't even see you. Are you hiding? Or is that a shot around the corner?
I'm 99% sure it's not even a real. He's been on our Facebook page. I'm pretty sure it's not a real photo? It's not a real photo, I don't think.
Why don't you get like Fabio if you're going to do a stock photo? I mean, long flowing hair,
Luke Bush says floodgates is code word for bona fide moves, right, Justin?
You don't have to move. All you got to do is pay the $2,000 out of district tuition for them, and as long as you can get there, you're good.
That's exactly right.
It's the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Luke has a more affirmative opinion of Buford. And that is, he says, Buford homegrown kids win all these state championships. They must really have an awesome feeder program from boys club to middle school to prepare them to be high school champions.
Now that
said with tongue in cheek.
That Facebook logo is in the way, but that tongue is in that cheek.
Absolutely.
For sure. And I appreciate the sarcasm and love it. Thank you.
Listen, now that you mention it, man, y'all got to do a better job of centering your profile pictures or something.
There's 2 in a row. It's like off the corner. I mean, I'm in a recliner. I could probably do a little better job, but
well, in their defense, that when they show up in the comments, it's like a smaller version of their real profile picture.
Fair enough.
So anyway, Buford always gets me off center. Oh, so we were talking about before we got sidetracked with Buford. I was asking you guys what was your most surprising game, and we talked about our most surprising game. Let me take a step back and ask you about the couple of teams that won down here. We talked a little bit about Fitzgerald, but what about the job that Maurice Freeman did at Brooks County? Did you guys see that blowout coming? I didn't.
I
I
just
thought it was going to be a close game. It got close to for like a millisecond.
yeah. I think so during the regular season they come out and they tried to attack the cornerbacks like Schley County did and stuff in the scrimmage game, and he used his quarterback trying to pass the ball,
Yeah.
and out to his credit and Tucker's credit, like I said, both of their credits, they both went in there with the game plan they needed to go in there with. They stuck with it, never strayed from it, and Amari Arnold just ran up and down the field, and he stuck with it. They come out with a great game plan, they executed it.
Man, that Amari
Man,
Arnold,
did he ever.
he was something else, guys. He was something else.
I think he faked that shoulder injury because the very next play he took off radio.
But you see him when he went to the sideline, he was tucking it in again.
Yeah,
But they were working on it. I think it was
like neck
one of
or
his
something.
neck muscles. It wasn't
Yeah.
like an AC joint separation. It appeared to be like a strained neck muscle is what I gathered. But it didn't stop him from getting 320 yards and 5 TDs. That's stout. And you
I
called
was
it, Justin.
telling a couple
weekend.
of people. I was telling a couple of people that was my first time seeing Amari Arnold in action, and he reminded me of a little bit bigger version of Tyreek Hill. I remember when Tyreek Hill was played at Coffee County, and he came over to Martin Stadium and played Lowndes one game, and the kid was just amazing. All he needed, and basically relied on speed. Amari Arnold, he's got a little bit of size, but man, the speed that kid had just to hit the corner. Even when you had an outside linebacker or maybe even a safety trying to set the edge, Arnold just raced right past him.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, surprisingly fast was and I forget his name, and I was trying to highlight him too. But the quarterback, he's just as fast as Arnold.
Yeah,
and he's not really he progressed over the years as a passer, but he did great job when he needed to tucking the ball and running. In the first half, and he can absolutely fly. He's only a sophomore or junior, one of the two.
Brooks also to their defensive side of the ball credit, they had 14 points on turnovers.
Yeah,
points over on turnovers too. So that they played a pretty well-rounded game, and just the emotional component of watching Maurice Freeman. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. They won the last state title in 1994, and I believe the coach at that time was Maurice Freeman.
Yeah.
So how cool is that? Almost 30 years later, he brings them back and gets them a title.
Yep. Do you know what other team this is a little bit of trivia for you. I think this is correct. What other area team in 1994 won a state championship down here?
Was it Clinch?
I was 5 years old, so I got no idea.
Colquitt County.
Oh, that's right.
1994. Before Rush Probst came onto the scene, that was their last state championship as well. I believe that's right. Will Palmer says Valdosta, which very well could be. I can't remember.
Hey, y'all are way older than me.
Well, it couldn't have been Valdosta if Colquitt won.
They would have been in the same classification, would they not?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
So anyway, Maurice jumped on. I say Maurice. Brooks County jumped on Irwin County quickly as well. Jumped out to a 21-0 lead. Now, to Irwin County's credit, they fought and clawed their way back to bring it to within a one-score game to 28-21. But that was as close as they would get. Then it went 35-21, 35-28, and then Brooks scored the last 3 touchdowns, and just to blow this thing wide open, 56-28.
Yeah. I mean, you got to hats off that offensive line too. For I know Arnold did a lot of it, but I mean, they created some holes for him to run through for sure that they did in the first game.
Yep. So Phil asked me a question yesterday about Maurice Freeman. Have you guys ever noticed Maurice? I don't know him. I shouldn't be calling him Maurice. Did you guys ever notice Coach Freeman? He tapes his fingers during the game.
Yeah. Is that for signaling? Like in baseball, you would do that some. And
No, it's not. Wow. That's not why he does it.
I have no idea why. I know he does it, but I have no idea why.
He does it to remind his players how often they've scored in that game. See, he'll tape his fingers every time they score.
But didn't it
He was
Was it
already,
taped at the beginning?
yeah, he already had them taped at the beginning.
Oh, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. Not how much they score, how many games they've won. That's
Oh,
it.
I was
That
about to
makes
games
sense.
say,
they've
He
won.
had a lot of tape on. That makes
That's right.
sense.
That's right.
Like 0-0.
That's
yeah.
right. So he tapes his fingers
I mean,
to
that's his prediction.
remind his players how many games they've won that year.
I got you.
Okay.
Okay, that
So
makes
that's
it.
why
Yeah,
some fingers have double tape.
I was gonna say that. Man, they had
Yeah.
scored a bunch before they even stepped on the field.
I know.
Right?
You know, when he originally asked me that question, my guess was, I don't know, man, to protect his hands from getting calluses for swinging that hammer so hard. I don't know.
Hey, did a side note? Did anybody else see Cedar Grove come out with a hammer after they won the game and smashed it on the field?
Did they really?
They've got a hammer. Yep. So now
Everybody's got a hammer now.
So I think Cedar Grove and Brooks need to play for whoever's got the better.
Play for the Hammer Championship. It's hammer time.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Cedar Grove had 4 touchdowns on turnovers.
That
that game.
That Cedar Grove team is nuts. It's
Dude.
a 3A.
Could you see how big they are? Good. Hey, I guess you could get a good appreciation from the booth or from the suite.
No, I got to see them at Colquitt County on the sideline, and they're big.
Golly, they're big.
Guys, do you know this trivia question thrown out by Will Palmer? He says, can you guess who Fitzgerald played for their first state title win in the 40s? I think it was 1948.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm gonna be honest. I looked it up before the game, and now I don't even remember.
I don't know, Will.
Valdosta.
Fitzgerald.
Well, back then I think
Waycross. I don't know. Waycross Bulldogs.
Was it Waycross?
I don't know. They won a few titles back in the 50s and that era. They were stout. You know,
I'm looking it up right now.
Valdosta was like single A.
Earl Webby was the head coach, and they were in 2 single A.
Yeah.
And they beat Decatur 20-19. And interestingly, guys, they beat Thomasville in the semifinals 7-6. So in back-to-back weeks, they won their game by 1 point.
Wow.
Got it done.
Will Palmer says Thomasville. I don't think they beat Thomasville for the championship.
I thought they would have maybe highlighted that if this was a rematch.
Yeah,
they beat Thomasville in the semifinals and Decatur for the championship.
Okay.
I knew it was a big school, like a big school now. I knew they beat somebody that was a big school now, but I couldn't remember.
Still, I like the question.
Yeah. And actually, just part of the trivia, to continue that year, they actually played 1 extra exhibition game.
So who was the best team supposed to be in the nation that year, supposedly.
Yeah, and so they actually played and lost to a team out of Massachusetts, Westfield High out of Massachusetts, and they lost 25-7 to go 11-1 on the year.
Interesting. Hey, that reminds me of Collins Hill. Are they not playing somewhere in like a Geico Bowl?
Playing in the Geico Bowl against Bishop Gorman.
There you go. And is that something to do with the national?
They're not playing Bishop Gorman. They're playing at Bishop Gorman High School.
Wait.
But they're playing a team out of Washington State, I believe.
Oh, I thought they were playing Bishop Gorman themselves.
I thought that's what I saw too, but maybe that's the venue.
I'm pretty sure that's the venue.
Did they? I know we had briefly talked about it when we were in the suite for a minute, but are they setting it up to be a 4-team playoff like the college football, or they're just playing the single game?
They're just playing 2 exhibition games.
Okay, gotcha.
That's it.
Yeah, Larry. I just looked it up. They're headed to Las Vegas for a bowl game with Washington State champion
Graham Kapowson High.
I feel bad for them because Collins Hill's about to roll in there and beat them.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I wish they would have played the other team. I cannot remember who the other game is against, but I think that would have been a better matchup.
I just don't think Washington has been known for great high school football.
Probably so. I'm just glad the year is the high school football year is over and that Collins Hill group is gone. Man, oh man.
And the thing about it is that they've been together. They didn't put that one together. Those kids have actually been together for a while. They stayed in the program and stuck it out. I don't think they had many transfers.
That's right.
Did you guys see by any chance being there? You might not have, but I think John Nelson interviewed the coach during halftime or after the game or something. And he the way the coach looked when he said these guys they were leaving, he's like, I may never coach another pair like this again. It was almost like a look of despair in his eyes.
Yeah.
Well, he knows that that's his only title that he's going to get, unless he ends up coaching at Buford or one of these. Because there's not going to be another super assembled team at Collins Hill. He's out of he's done. His rotation is done.
Yep.
Yeah. Cash in your chips.
All right. So the last few minutes of the show we've got, let's run through some of these newer regions that affect our areas. 6A includes now Houston County, Lee County, Northside, Warner Robins, Thomas County Central, Tift County, and Veterans. Now, obviously, Lee County is probably the heavy favorite.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Northside is gonna be the favorite next year.
Northside is going to have 17 returners.
That's what Northside I think is gonna surprise a lot of people next year.
How many do you think migrate from some other part of town?
They may. That's what I'm saying. You're
With,
gonna be surprised.
Changes at the helm.
Well, you know, you ask a very interesting question because Warner Robins may be undergoing a breakup right now.
They've already undergone 3 coaches leaving for sure.
Yeah,
that is
top of the food chain, right? Not like the
top of the food chain.
Head
coach, DC, OC, maybe.
Actually confirmed is your offensive coordinator is now the head coach at Houston County. Their defensive coordinator left with the offensive coordinator to go be the defensive coordinator at Houston County. And their offensive line coach left to go be the offensive coordinator at Houston County.
What about the head man himself? Is he sticking around?
See, with those, so I've been on the thing that, and I do know for a fact that Westlake has ponied up enough money to cover it and give him a big bonus and a big raise. And
gotcha.
Cam Newton now is coming to the picture and trying to meet with him and get him to come up there, which that don't really mean a whole lot of anything nowadays. But
for those who don't know that, that's his alma mater, correct?
Yeah, that's his
alma mater. Dad coached there at some point or something like that.
I know it's his alma mater, and I think his dad may have, but he's willing to throw a bunch of money too in the program to try to help him. But with those developments today, I don't know if he leaves because who's he going to take with him?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Fair question.
Hey, Justin, did you pay this guy to say this? Ben says, I like Northside in that region. Justin is always right.
That's you, Justin. No wonder he can't show his face.
Not doing it.
That's you, man.
It's not me.
Let's throw that back up there.
We argue in the Facebook.
Justin's got a little bit more hair than this picture. I don't know.
We argue in that Facebook group more often than not. He never agrees with me hardly. So.
Well, speaking of Ben Franklin, why don't you throw a hundy at it and see if it comes out? He's not a dead president, but he's one of my favorite units of currency.
I just want to throw this out there since we're talking about just to. I know that probably shouldn't say this, but I'm not going to say who or what. There was a gentleman that won $10,000 on that Fitzgerald Thomasville game, and they paid it.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
They paid the $10,000.
Wow, that someone bet on high school football, and wow that they paid.
Oh no, high school football gets bet on a ton at the games.
Wow.
I've seen some of the lines; they were so juicy too. I'd like to get a second mortgage to take. I'll take that one all day. There was one Blessed Trinity game against somebody. They were like -26.
Yeah.
So George, you got a fan. Kimberly Thomas says that George is funny.
She's family.
Have you guys ever met?
Have
you guys ever met a George that is not funny? George Costanza comes to mind.
Oh, yeah, he's on a new meme too. I just saw earlier today. I can't talk about that meme, but it was funny.
So Kimberly confirms that there was betting going on at the Lowndes and Lake Gibson game.
I'm telling you, there's a lot more of it goes on than you realize.
Which I think it's silly betting on high school games because you're betting on a bunch of teenage kids, man.
Yeah. I'm only betting on Buford to win money line. That's it.
Oh my gosh! Hey George, can I go one show without muting Justin? I got 6
You're
minutes
almost
left.
there, man. You're at 54 change.
Hey, before we get out of here tonight, let's talk about some of these coaching carousel. We kind of touched on a little bit with Warner Robins. There's some activity going on. We got a new head coach at Cook County that's been confirmed with Byron Slack. They've announced that. Was that a surprise move to any of you?
No, so I had to retract my Rodemaker to Cook statement on Facebook, but I got a text that day at 2:00 that said, "Hey, Rodemaker's out. He's in, and here's why." Apparently, Rodemaker is just asking an extremely high amount for TCC and Cook to pay out, and they couldn't. They didn't come back and counter, so Slack was always their other guy. So I wasn't surprised at Slack.
You know, I don't know if that's true or not. Let's assume for a second that's true. You know, sometimes people throw a dollar amount out that they know is not going to get met because they don't really want the job.
That's right.
I wonder if that's the case with him.
It may be. I have no idea.
I have no idea. I'm just speculating because it's a AA program, and you know, AA programs can pay a pretty good amount, but I don't know the amount that he was asking for. But it doesn't make sense that you would throw an outrageous number out there.
Do they not know like their level of education and things like there's somewhat of a constrained, you know what I mean? Like they can't just say, yeah, we love you. I mean, they kind of meet some parameters within that flow chart, right?
Yes, degrees.
That's where Byron Slack's got
doctorate, master's.
Yeah, that's where Byron Slack's got a slight edge because he's got a doctorate, and the state will pick up a good portion of that because of the doctorate.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that has to play.
All right. So now we got TCC hired with Justin Rogers. We got Byron Slack over in Cook. Other jobs in the area that are open. Bacon County.
Bacon County will be filled by Friday.
Bacon County will be filled by Friday. Do you have? Are your sources close enough to saying at least who the finalists are? Can you reveal those?
Yeah, my source is definitely close enough to tell you the two top finalists is Joel Ingram, the former Washington County coach that just was let go.
Okay.
And Ashley Anderson. So those are the two.
Really? Okay. I was expecting you to throw out another big name there.
Yeah.
That all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you for the people that don't know, it is. I'm just being honest. It's 100%. Rush Probst applied for the TCC job. Then when he didn't, Justin Rogers landed there. He tried for the Cook job. Slack landed there. He also emailed about the Bacon County job. But nobody's really taking it into consideration at this point. Not Bacon County may be to an extent. They said they talked, but I don't think.
Now, Justin, I'm just having a hard time picturing Rush applying to Bacon County. Are you sure about that?
All right, so I'm just telling you, I've seen the email go back, the email exchange back and forth. So he was inquiring. Let's say I'm not saying he officially applied, but he inquired about the job open.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, that's a difference, but an inquiry is nowadays almost an informal application. You know.
Yeah, but with the money Bacon County can throw around, that's crazy.
Surprising, yeah.
So, unfortunately, the Berrien County job is not open yet. So, you know, I've got my eyes on that one. So, you know, I expect Byron Slack to do well at Cook County. I really do. In that league, Thomasville is out, so he's basically got to contend with who? Fitzgerald, Dodge County.
Yeah, Dodge is actually decent. They I as much as I don't like the football program, they've got a bunch of freshmen. Like their quarterback was a freshman. Everybody's pretty much coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's the regional alignment for 1AA currently. It's Berrien, Cook, Dodge County, Fitzgerald, Sumter County, and Worth County. And tomorrow morning, Jeff Davis is also petitioning to make a lateral move to come to 1AA. Because they want to leave 3AA, and I don't blame it because that region has Appling in it, Appling and Pierce County, and so they want to leave that and go to 1AA. I don't know. I don't think they're. I don't think they're going to win that appeal.
That region's already got what 5 or 6 teams in it.
Yeah, 6.
Because Brantley's in it, Tatnall, everybody but Long. Basically, Region 1 3A moved down to Region 1 2A, if I understand correct, with the exception of Long. I think you said that, but so I don't think there's room.
George, Region 3 2A has Appling, Brantley, Jeff Davis, Pierce County, Tatnall, Toombs, Vidalia, and Windsor Forest. And so Jeff Davis is petitioning to leave that region and go over to 1AA to join Berrien, Cook, Dodge, Fitzgerald, Sumter, and Worth.
For travel, it makes sense. I mean,
yeah, maybe that's
but they're not going to be a factor in either region. They lose everybody, and supposedly
baseball, are they more of a baseball school?
Baseball and softball.
Yeah.
So Ben asked, what's TCC's chances of getting out of 6A?
None.
It's
None,
0.
right?
They're done.
I believe the final appeal is tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, the only appeal I think that may have a shot is Early County. They're trying to appeal to go from 1A, D1, 1A, whatever it is, to the lower.
Right.
Yeah.
What could TCC be
Their
point?
special needs kids program apparently is what everybody claims put them way over the top and puts them.
They failed to articulate that the first 2 times.
Yeah, so
I don't understand what the third time's gonna.
Yeah, they'll lose that appeal. The other appeals are Crisp County is appealing to move from Region 1 AAA to Region 2 AAA. So right now, Region 1 AAA, which they're currently assigned, has Carver, Columbus, Crisp County, Daugherty, Monroe, and Thomasville. And so now they're appealing to move to 2 AAA, which includes Jackson, Mary Persons, Peach County, Pike County, and Upson Lee. And if they win that appeal, they're automatically the top dog in that region.
Logistically, that's the smartest move for them, especially travel.
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
they're on the 75 corridor. So
yeah.
So I actually like their chances of winning that appeal.
Yeah.
The other one that might affect a team in this area is Early County. They're actually requesting to be isolated down into the classification. Well, to be isolated down in classification from Division 1 single A to Division 2 single A.
Yep. I think that's the one that may actually get it just because they've always won their isolation before.
That's right. So anyway, the other coaching carousel, not carousel, but rumor that I wanted to talk to briefly about tonight, and because I know there's some Lowndes fans that are watching, and I'll talk about this on the Thursday night show as well. But you know, when Justin, when you and I were up in Atlanta, I don't know if you saw my phone start going off.
Yeah,
but I was getting calls, and it's like, and people were asking me, is Jamie DuBose leaving Lowndes? Is he going to Alabama? And I would say, no, these rumors have been around almost as long as he's been at Lowndes. So I doubt they're true, but let me make some calls and see if I can find out if it's true or not. And so before I could make the first call, I got another call and then another call. And then after I left the suite from in Atlanta, George, driving down I-75, I get several more calls. So this rumor is picking up steam. It's like, what the heck is this all about? And so I start calling a handful of people that I thought would know. Because, you know, when you call a coach, most likely they're going to say, no, it's not true. Yeah. So I expected that, right? A denial. But I wanted to call other people just to see from a fan's perspective, are they hearing something different? So I call several people. They don't know. So then later on that weekend, I get a text message saying, hey, you need to call the DuBoses. So I actually have a direct conversation with the DuBoses. And this is, guys, if you're a Lowndes fan, I want to read this to you. Let me bring it up real fast. So I don't want to keep you in suspense. So here's the short version. He's not going anywhere. This is what he sent to me. Let's see. I'm actually teasing you guys.
Well, can I say this? Why I post them? Okay, so so I noticed, and I'm just being honest, I saw your phone going off. I knew something was up. So I actually, believe it or not, have a contact in the Phoenix City area, that area in Alabama. So I got it the very next day. The only reason why some people, I let that rumor pick up on its own. I didn't start that one, for the record. I didn't start it. I just kind of added to it. So my person knows some people very well at Hoover. So that was where I got my information from, was the fact that I did know Hoover had called, and I did know they had at least had talks. Now, what happens after that? No idea. I can't say one way or the other. I'm not on that part. I just know that the rumor had some merit as far as at least them trying to get him. If that,
Yeah. So I was told he was contacted, but this is what he said. He told me they quickly denied or declined the position. So he says, I can assure you, I have not looked. This is a quote from him. Quote, I can assure you, I have not looked for, interviewed, or applied for any jobs. I'm happy at Lowndes. We've got work to do to get ready for next year. Lowndes will be a powerhouse in 2022. Go Vikings, end quote. There you go. If you're a Lowndes fan, start spreading that rumor. Jamie DeBow says he's here to stay. He's preparing for next year.
I will ask this. He only likes 2 years in Alabama to retire, though, correct?
Now, I don't know if any of
that's
that's now. Yeah. From what I understand, one of the reasons that he wanted to move to Lowndes was he'd already qualified for retirement in Alabama.
Gotcha.
And now he wants to spend the next 10 plus years in Georgia to qualify for the Georgia retirement.
Gotcha.
That's what my understanding was. Okay.
Well, we all know what happened with Lincoln Riley. So I mean, I got to say,
and he did not equivocate either, did he? He flat out. It reminds me of what was the Rafael Palmeiro? I did not take.
Yes. Yeah.
Listen, we can all remember occasions like probably the most notable one is Nick Saban when he was at Miami.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And he was asked point blank by a reporter, are you going to be the next head coach at Alabama? He unequivocally said no.
Yep.
A few days later, he's announced as the head coach at Alabama. So we understand how this game is played. But I had a very direct conversation, very direct exchange with the DeBoses. And they assure me that the reason why they gave me this quote is, Larry, share that.
Yeah.
Okay. We plan to be here at Lowndes. We love it here at Lowndes. That's what they told me.
So to get your heat off of that one, I'll just throw you other rumor out there really quick that I've had direct talks with, and they say no, but I've had also direct talks with the committee at Wayne County, and they say different. So I have no idea on this one. So the rumor is Robert Pruitt, of course, applying at Wayne County, who Wayne County has tried to get him in the past. So I've got them saying, one thing, and then the Wayne County committee, who just formed yesterday, they say something different, but I have no idea on that. I'm not close enough to that. I just got back in good with Tucker and everybody, so I'm staying out of that one. But that's the one that's trying to be picked up on. But I will say that he has said no to that, as I won't say an official statement, but he said no.
I got you.
Okay.
Let's see.
Program at Wayne, good opportunity for somebody.
Now I do know he's got 2 years left to retire in Georgia, and Wayne would be offering more money. So
I mean, there
really?
You go.
But why would you? But why would you? If your goal was to retire in a couple of years, why would you go to a program like Wayne where it's basically a rebuild?
Well, they've got. Truthfully, I think his system fits better at Wayne. Big offensive lineman, can establish the run game and play that style of football. His system, I just don't feel like fits the players at Coffee. They're more of a really a 5 wide type, and he's never been that person. He's always been the ground and pound wing T, old school coach. So I'm just speculating again. I think his system would work well over there with those type of kids.
Well, listen, if he were to make that move. If he were to make that move, this is the region that he would be joining. If he were to become the head coach at Wayne, just a what if here. This is the region that he would be in. Region 3, 4A. Benedictine, Burke County, Islands, New Hampstead, Southeast Bullock, and Wayne County. That's a pretty winnable region.
He's got
Other
a
than
pretty
Benedictine.
good shot at a home game the first
Yeah.
first round for sure. Benny's going to probably take care of him
That's right.
next year. New Hampstead's up and down with that. What's his name? Kyle
Yeah.
from McEachern.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That guy.
Kyle Hockman.
Yes. And he's had some athletes in the past. Sam Brown comes to mind, that wide receiver they had. He had Sunday hands. I mean, I watched him play against Pierce. He was just – I think he went to West Virginia. I haven't really followed up and seen how he's doing there. But they could make some noise too. But
Right.
you could rationalize why he would make that move.
All right, guys, listen, we're coming to the close to the end of the show. We're actually in overtime right now, but I want to give you one last chance. If you want to enter for your chance to win this Winn-Dixie Stuff the Bucket, since we only had like 7 people to enter, so we'll go ahead and just do one drawing. And this is for a Stuff the Bucket meal and a T-shirt. Okay, so we'll just have one drawing. So go ahead and enter in. All you got to do is put in the comments #pregame. #pregame. And that, not Kimberly Thomas, that's the Thursday night show, not #1lounge. Like this, #pregame.
One word.
This is a different show. So #pregame. All right, guys. Kimberly Thomas, you better get it in. You better get it in. There we go. There you go.
Everybody just spam #Buford in the comments.
Oh my gosh, man. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. So this is new to you guys. I don't think you've ever seen this before.
No.
Not.
So it randomly draws a winner, and it is
That is loud.
Nice.
Especially with these earbuds in.
Was that like the Buford student section again?
I probably should have warned you guys.
Yeah, that was
Take your earpieces out.
I'm about to go Fred Sanford mode over here. Elizabeth.
I probably should turn that volume down next time. So, hey, congratulations to Ann Zipper Knight for winning the Winn-Dixie drawing. And Ann, I will contact you through Facebook directly right after we end the show, just to give you instructions on how to go up to Winn-Dixie to claim your prize. So, guys, that's the show that we have for tonight. Stick around next week. That's the end of football season. We didn't quite finish up the regions. We'll finish up that next week, but we will also transition into other content. Specifically, next week, we'll start talking about the College Bowl season. So we're going to be expanding the scope of our show a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about basketball. We'll talk a little bit about college football and some other things, some zany things that come up in our day-to-day travels. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this week's pregame blitz. You've been with us since the very beginning, right? So we want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. What in the world happened to George?
I don't know. I've been hearing that Windows thing go off the last 10
George, somebody go check on George in Waycross, man. Make sure he's okay. So anyway, guys, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you here next week. So on behalf of the blank George on the screen, Justin Haley, I'm your host, Larry Cobham. You guys have been watching the Pregame Blitz. We'll catch you guys later.